Making a Metroidvania based on a secret underground research facility where everything has escaped and is threatening to overtake the world. We've been working on creating a playable demo to release on Itch and Steam, and we've added a lot already, like a character with a state machine, combat, and bosses like this guy. Still not really sure what he's going to be. Obviously, we don't have any art yet, but last week our goal was to finish off implementing the dialogue manager into the project and set up a light quest system. We got a little bit distracted with UI and polishing that up, but in the end we were able to create a very basic quest mission manager. While we aren't going to have basic missions like kill 5 of everything,
not that kind of orc.
I still just need to create a system where I can give little tasks and sort of use them to gently guide the player along as they go. So what's the plan this week? We need to develop a map tool. And what do I mean by that? Well, I mean I'm lazy. And while I could draw a map, I don't really want to. And I know I can take the tile map and translate it into other mediums, like I did with taking the tile map and converting it to a grid map. Every Metroidvania has a little map to consult that is revealed as you explore the world, and I think I can take our current 3-room and build a mini-map from the tile data. And then we can fill out this menu that is currently just saying map here, which I definitely can't leave in the demo. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And if you're on Twitch, give us a follow. We're streaming development Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, 6 AM Australian Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully, I will see you there. Alright, let's get started. Hello, welcome. It's Wednesday, 6 AM, and I'm here, and I've also got a new camera, so if it's weird, that's why. I'm testing it out. It's just an old Android phone. So we'll see. Might do better with the light though. Although it is very contrasty. How are we all doing? So the map system. Last time we left off, we had created a way to crawl through our level and find the tile maps that are responsible for drawing the level, and then taking that information and drawing it onto another tile map. Now, in between the last stream and this stream, I've sort of been thinking about this and whether or not that's, the right way to go about it. Do we want that? How do we even determine like the separation between them? Because like these levels are not going to be necessarily perfectly fitting to each other. So I sort of decided to put the idea aside. So this was our original script here where we looped through each cell and sort of drew out the filled cells and the empty cells. I mean, if we just want the shape, we can just draw all the cells as filled. That's an option too, but like I don't know if using a tile map to draw the map is the best idea. It's definitely one that will work. However, we could just draw the shape of it. And so I wrote another function last night, which is like way smaller, by the way, because we just need to get the shape and then plug that into a polygon 2D, and then we get like a flat shape of it. The challenge here is going to be, how do I draw the player position on that? Do I need to? Do I just say the room they're in? So there's a bunch of questions that still come up from this. Now, this is not typically possible. I had to make a slight change, and that is have a second tile map, which is fine, I guess. We've got the map tile outline, and all this is an outline of the shape of the level, essentially. And I have to draw that manually, but it takes like 5 seconds. It's not a big deal. We're not adding a lot of extra work. We just draw around the level, and that will get picked up by this script that we wrote to like crawl through the level, and then draw it. And we've got the others here, and then we make a separate shape for each one. And I'm thinking we make the name of these nodes the levels, so then we can move them around. Because like if we want this to be, because see how this one's not the exact same height. Like if it was up to me, I would say like go back to this level and actually just add like a tile, so that they line up, if you're gonna have it that way. And then same with this one, it's like kind of weird. There's some stuff when it comes to drawing these, it's not like quite right. But we're making progress either way, because we can still just lay this out. Bare minimum, we can just say, this is the room you're in. You know what I mean? And if you can get a view of like where all these sit, then I think that's good enough. Could it be a tile map? Could they each be tile maps? I guess it's the other thing as well. Maybe. First things first, let's go to the movement room. This is just one set up room movement. And let's say, I mean, either or, like you could just manipulate the outline. You just increase the outline by 1. Or you could, because like I said, this is manual now. So like I draw the level, however I draw the level, and then I just draw around how I want the map shape to be. So if I added one here, it's not really going to make a difference. I don't think the camera would even see. But then for the outline, now for purposes of doing this, you don't want to, why can't I draw on this? You don't want to have like multiple blocks. This is why I had to switch to a separate tile map, because like you can grab the level. The issue will be that you draw all the inside geometry as well, which we don't want. And like there's probably a way of figuring out that out by code. Like you could test, I've done this before, you could test each block and you would want to find where there's surrounding blocks, like there's you know, there's a missing block at the top and the bottom, and but you would also like pick up the inside as well. I don't know, you could do it, I think. Or you could have a separate tile. You could test the atlas to make sure that it's correct. Girik is here. Welcome, welcome. How are you? Okay, so then if we increase that by 1 and we come back to the minimap, and we have to delete these now because, yeah. And they're also not getting added to the node I set up. They're just getting added to the parent. So we might as well just delete everything and then redraw everything. I wonder, I need to set up 2 buttons for like, it didn't work. Cannot call method on clear on a null value. Yeah, right, yeah. I know what's wrong. It's like, hey, there used to be a tile map in this level, in this scene. Where's the script? I accidentally found Godot stream. I'm okay with that. Porn X Porn. Welcome. Sus name, but we'll roll with it. Minimap tile clear. Let's just comment this out because like I'm still not like abandoning that idea entirely. I'm just exploring another one. So if we click that now, what's it? Can I call? Oh, frick's sake! Okay, now it's 1:40 a.m. I was also making a game. I saw your stream, so I'll go to sleep now. Sleep well, dude. That's late. Okay. Save. Tool scripts piss me off sometimes because you can't, like occasionally it will just like not draw things properly. Okay, so now that's worked. And we can see they're all just drawn on top of each other. Also, I'm getting multiple polygons. I need to look at that as to like why. And also the names, right? It's kind of confusing. And also like I can determine the position that these go so that they're laid out a little bit more clearer, because how this works, let's just delete that. A couple of broken ones there. So this is something that I was experimenting with offline. And what it is we can actually get the position offset. This is something here. The problem, this is one of the reasons why I started not looking at tile maps, is because like I'm getting fixed into like determining the position. I've had a hard time with ToolScript fails to load.
Let me announce it.
See you later. I've had a hard time where a ToolScript fails to load properly, even though it's 99% of the work of the time works. Yeah, they can be a little bit finicky. But yeah, I have like a dictionary of the maps that I find once I like poke into the levels to get like the map. Now I do that by finding the doors and then opening those levels and looking at them. So like essentially you set the starting, how this is going to work in my head is you set the starting level and then you will literally just crawl throughout each level. Like you just look at the doors that connect them, grab those levels and draw it. I think I'll need to set up a separate script to look at individual levels if I want them. Like if I'm having trouble just generating one, like generate one level rather than like do the entire thing every single time, because eventually like that's probably going to take a lot of effort. So get tile shape can also pass in this, which is the position of the level within like the world, I guess. And then we can make that, and it's called an offset and it's a vector 2. Now, the way that I was doing that here, I was getting a position offset, which was the cell size as well. I don't think we need that here. And then the level offset and the bounds. Those things I think related directly to this. So I can just get, I think I could just add the offset to the position of the, I could just say new poly dot position equals offset. I don't think it needs to be that complicated because the tile map's different. And it just doesn't work that way. So that, and the other thing that I wanted was the name of the level. So there is a way that we can get that. Since we are crawling through each level, we can get level. We can actually get that information. Let's have a look at how we're doing this. So we get obviously we get the level, and then we get the neighboring levels, which creates a dictionary, which is a string and a vector. So that's the path to the level. It's not super helpful. However, when we actually draw them, we get level again because we have an original level path, and then we create a dictionary of levels. So this could return the name of the level, I would say, or even the file name. The file name is probably enough. Because if I just call the file name the level name. So get level could not only return a node, but it could also return, so we can have like level info as a dictionary, and it's equal to, well, actually just leave it blank for now, and the level info I think I will just make it the node because that's like, I want that anyway. That's the easiest thing to get. Metroidvania style level loading is very interesting thought process. It's kind of tough, eh? Yeah. It's like, it's really funny because like I made the game, right? The game demo, I guess you call it, like the actual concept. So you got like combat, you've got upgrades, you've got like enemies and bosses even. And then I was like, okay, well, if I want to like put a demo out, I have to like do all the background stuff for like inventory, shops if you want them, money, you know? And it's like, okay, this is actually more work than just making the actual gameplay. There's more background stuff, data, as I like to say. There's a lot of data handling going on in the background to make it all work. To actually make it a Metroidvania. Otherwise, it's just like a action platformer. I guess a lot of this stuff is just like RPG elements. Like there's not a lot of difference between the two game types when you break it down about what's happening on the inside. It's just the way that you play the game is different. Level info equals level, and then we can pass in the name. I guess if I'm gonna do like, really easy to make an array. The level node dot name. If it's a node, I should just have its name, right? Actually, go back. Yeah, out of this. If it's a node, I should just have its name. And when I pass it in to get tile shapes, I can pass in the node's name. In fact, level pack scene load. Get tile shape Hang on a second. Let me read this for a second. Get tile shape. What am I calling get level here? Get level node. Get map nodes next level. But I'm passing in J for J. Oh, I'm actually going through the. Yeah. Okay. So I still have access to next level because I don't delete the instantiated map until after this loop is finished. Next level dot name, really. I just pass that in, and then when I go to the tile shape and name, it's a string, I guess, and we can't use that level name. Never thought about it that way, actually. I was thinking of the systems between the two of them. There's a solid amount. Yeah. You don't realize it until you start. I think with an RPG, people know what they're getting into, but with Metroidvania, it's like maybe it's a lot. New poly dot name equals level name, rather than just like getting a random string. So that way it'll help me like figure out what the hell I'm drawing, because right now I'm getting more polys than levels that I'm checking. That is 100% what's happening, which means I'm either getting my groupings wrong or something, but it'll help me figure it out, because I should have duplicates if that's the case. I wonder if that'll error out of. Okay, so don't forget to save the script, reload the save scene, and then hit the button. Okay, facility entry 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Okay. And their positions are like really wide apart.
All right. I got a little nod off.
Hey, thank you so much for the follow, PornXPorn. And their positions is like really weird. Obviously, facility entry 01. This is 03, which doesn't seem right. Facility entry 01 is this one here. Should be this one here. And then you've got boss room tester, which is 02. And then you've got O2 movement, which is also called facility entry 1. That's a bit silly. The naming for these is all fucked up, eh? So let's just fix that up, because you're going to have to get on top of that before we go and make an entire game. I've only got 3 rooms, and I'm already like messing up the data. And the name of this one as well. It's pretty funny. I guess if we call it 2 and we can call it, and this one's the boss room tester, because like that's literally all that's in the game. We've got a room here that was originally just made to test out the enemies and stuff like that, and then you've got another room that was used to like test out movement, and then another room where you can access every boss that I've made. And the save room isn't even in the right position. Actually, I think that's a common problem throughout. Yeah, debug system. Yeah, it's gonna help. That'll make sense. And then I can instantly tell that I'm doing a dumb shit like that. Let's delete these and start again. Animation tracks. That's okay. Okay. I don't know. It's still wrong. Facility entry 03. I mean, is it always just gonna be called facility entry and then? Is there something in the output? Okay. Whoa. What the hell? Already has a parent, already has a parent. I actually don't think that's me. Map. What am I printing here? I need to come up with some buttons. I need buttons to delete all this shit while I'm like working on it. I've been here before. I've when I was making a system for breakable glass, and I was spawning in like a bunch of like broken, like you'd break the glass programmatically in Godot, and it would spawn in like from like a mesh, like a broken version of it, and it was messy. So I want to create, while we're early days, export tool button. This is going to be challenging because I'm not super familiar with clear polygons. With manipulating the scene tree with the tool script. Polygons. Polygons. I don't have a callable for this yet. Equals. Well, it's callable first. Clear polygons. I need to call it something else because I can't have it the same as the variable name. Okay. I guess I could just put an underscore in the variable. I created a tool script that lets me quickly add my system through a button, but I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. Yeah, the button is not the problem, it's adding it to the tree. So you get edited scene root is the function call. Clear polygons, void. So I would say like most likely you would, yeah, I actually don't even know. So we can get an array, might not be worth doing on stream because it's kind of boring. So you can get an array of polygons, polys, which will just be get tree dot edited scene root dot get children, right? Well, what the heck? And then you can just loop through those for I in polys. I dot QFree. Does QFree even work in the scene tree? Or is there another one? I don't know. I've never done this before. There's only one way to find out. QFree should work. Okay, cool. Well, let's see. Let's just do like a sneaky print. For the array. Make sure that I'm getting everything. So that way, while I'm iterating over this, it's not super difficult because I'm going to have to delete these a lot while I'm trying to figure out how I draw them to the screen. Once I've got that down, it's really just going to be a matter of redrawing it, depending how long it takes. Like, it depends on the map, right? Do I want to draw the entire map over and over again? Or do I want to just have like, oh, you know, drop in the pack scene that you want to draw and draw that individually and then place that where you want it to be placed. Either or. And then, yep. And then the only other thing was this offset needs to be divided by the tile map size, which is 16. So I'm just going to do that for now. We'll work on how to get that. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's see how much I've broken this. Save scene, reload, save scene. And then we get the maps. Clear polygons. Okay, that does work. That's good. And then save, and then we get maps. And that's not super slow. This one here, I don't know where it's coming from. So I've got some extras. I don't recognize. You know what I mean? They're empties. They don't draw anything. That one's in the right spot. And facility entry 5 is not drawing. That's an actual level though. So these two I don't care about, but I am curious as to where they're coming from. This one, I do have an issue with it not working. I think this is like to do with the polys. There's something wrong here. Maybe I'm putting too many in. Like realistically, if I wanted to draw the shape, I just need to put a tile in each corner. I don't need to fill it out like this. I've got one that goes all the way around. It doesn't need to be like that. I figured it would work anyway. It's obviously not. So let's clear that. and go back to the tile maps. So I need to get more space. So we've got the 3 rooms that we're trying to work on here. So like realistically, I don't need anything here. You know what I mean? I just need polygons in the corners. Let's see how that works. I can barely see what I'm doing. I need to put my glasses on. Hang on. Bit better. It's still very small on the screen. Okay. Alright, well, we'll roll with that. Hit save. Because this one, like, there's a bunch of empty space up here. Like, I'd probably just remove it later on, I guess. Facility Ross room tester. Same thing. I need this. Probably save some time. Make the script really fast. And make it easier to debug. I probably need to put a script on this this tool, this map outline tool, to make it automatically hide when I run the game, so that it doesn't show up if I forget to unhide it. So you don't, when you're playing the game, you don't accidentally see some pink dots. Could also make them black, but they're harder to see that way. Because it can get a bit difficult to read. Okay, so now we've done that. Save. Let's see how this turns out. Well, it works. And it's a lot cleaner. There's only... So that's nice. Well, I'm still getting the other two, which I am not familiar with. The other thing that I should do is store the dictionary of levels that I find in like in a dictionary here, so that I can see what I've pulled up, like the levels that I've grabbed. But now I can just move them. Do you have extra levels hiding in your files or something? I don't think so. I wasn't having that problem when I was using tile maps to draw this. I don't know. Little phantoms. Move canvas item. So many weird errors with the tile textured data origin center. VBox container already has a parent. I don't know what the fuck that is. So, what we can do to help us understand what we're doing, we are going to return information. So we get neighboring levels is going to give us a dictionary of levels, right? So what we do here is we create a dictionary with the level and its position. So we should be able to either add to that. We can have it be a dictionary of dictionaries. Or a dictionary of dictionary could work. And then we just, instead of, and then we can actually make that an export variable, if that makes sense, so that we can see it in script as well. And, then once we add all these things to it, we should be able to see what we're adding to it. And basically what this does, so we have an origin level path, that's like the first level, and it's going to look at all the rooms in that level and then open those up and then grab the data from those. And I haven't set it up yet to continue crawling beyond that. It's just looking at those three. But like there's another level of recursion that can happen here when we're getting the neighboring levels, is that when we find one, to actually crawl through it too, and just keep going. You know what I mean? There's a level of technical challenge there that I'm going to need to overcome, but Right now, let's just get it drawing properly, you know? Make it so that we're happy with the way that it draws, and then we can worry about that. So what we do, yes, this is the flow. So we go in, we get the levels, and then for each level in this like dictionary, we're getting the map node. So we get the level, and then we get the map node. And what that does, and this is where we could be getting multiples, is it looks at the actual level itself. It crawls through that, and it looks for map data group. Anything in the map data group, it pulls up, and it says, okay, that is something we have to draw. Add it to an array. So here is where we could be getting multiples. So I think this is probably where it's going wrong. We could be looking at, I mean, if we just look at the level name is funny. It's just a string. The tile map layer, that's not really going to help me because it's going to be like really weird. Get tile shape, get map nodes. I guess if I just do a printout of the map nodes, and then I'll be able to see pretty easily if there's more than 3. I do want to log some of this to the inspector though at some point, so that it makes it easier for me to tell what the hell I'm doing. So we've got broken wall. That's what we're doing. Okay, so before I was doing it this way, because I was looking at the entire tile room, I had taken into effect the, there we go, that's our answer. There is secrets, right? Like you can break a wall and find like a power up or whatever. Now, how these work in my game is it's relatively simple. They are literally just tile maps, and you can shoot and destroy them and they disappear. You know what I mean? Like it's not that complicated. But they are just set up as the same tile map as the level tile, so that it looks like it's a part of the level. So we just need to remove these from the group map data because we don't need them anymore since we're just drawing the outline of the room. We're not drawing each individual. Our maps aren't going to be that detailed. You know what I mean? Like some games, hang on. Some games are that detailed, right? Like some games like will tell you exactly like what level, like what platform you're standing on. But my game, I don't want that. That's too much effort. I don't think it's necessary. So we'll just roll with that. Okay, that's fine. We found our answer, which is good. So they've been taken off that map data group. So we can fix this up now. Just clear this and start again, and we'll have all 3. And yeah, I don't know. It's pretty fine. Like we just have to draw this to the so clear polygons, get map. Right, we just have to save, probably reload save scene or reload project to make that redo everything. I've taken them off. Save this. Reload save scene. Okay, there we go. That's better. So yeah, now we can, like, yeah, the position is slightly off for this, so we can just line that up. Still 1 pixel off, which is super annoying. And then this, just move it down 1. Hello, Voltron Studios. Welcome to the chat. How are you? And so then, yeah, you can instantly see, like, yeah, maybe I should, like, actually change the way these, like, laid out. Because this one is, like, literally 1 pixel off the height. Or whatever. And then this one is suspiciously small. You know what I mean? It also begs the question of, like, internally small ones. So like something a bit sus with that boss room, Chester, right? I would say like the actual room itself, this is another one of those ones where we fudge actually how it looks. because if you look at the layout of this room, you're actually the entire square. Now, the reason I'm doing that, I don't actually think I need to. I think what I was trying to do is, so when you run in this room, you don't want to see, I don't want the player to be able to see beyond the border. So like if this is the edge of the map, I just want it to be black. I don't want the internal to be on the other side of that. So we need to draw past the camera, like draws distance, right? The camera can't go below this line on the level, but it can go up like this high. So it needs to be beyond that. But now that I've given the flexibility of the map to be able to be whatever I want it to be, I can literally just draw the outline of the internal. If I can get this thing to draw for me, if I just remember the right button, right? Because we've got a door here. This is sort of what I was getting at. It's like, okay, well, I can just draw that, and then I can draw to here and to here, because that next one that I'm gonna need to pick up is there, and it needs to be on the other side of this. So like internally, that makes more sense, you know, to draw it like this instead of like this. Like actually stick to the internals when I draw these, rather than the externals of the level, which will create, I think, better shapes. So we do that. We do, this one is just a big square, so it's fine. But the same principle, again, like we should probably just stick to the internals of these maps, not the externals. And I understand that that's like gonna probably create some issues down the line. I mean, it depends, like this drop here, like, do we care about that? And then this external bit, like, do we care about that? I don't know. Or do we want to draw that in, you know? Can't see shit. You know, stuff like that. That we have the flexibility of changing now that we are drawing within this. NA Games, welcome, welcome. And then the only other question is, oh, well, if I get the names right, if I link the levels, actually, you know what? I need to add like details to these so that I can light the one that you're in, you can light up, if that makes sense. So that you know what room you're in. And then that's as much as information as I'm going to give them right now. Maybe we'll evolve it, but like we don't want to go too crazy. We just want to get it working. Not lined up. Okay, so obviously take that into account. And same with that one. Yeah, then the next question is, how do you draw your player on this? Okay, so... Hey. Draw. I guess, yeah, 2, 3. 55, 3. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, easy. And then that's looking straight. I suppose technically that is where it is in the map, in the world. That's like actually correct. This one, it's not quite correct. You have to move it out a bit. I suppose it doesn't really matter. Although I do want to put a shader on these to like be able to tell. I think the names are right too. Facility 3 for the boss room. Facility 3. Okay, good. So yeah, I could probably use that to light up the right one. You know what I mean? I put a shader on this, and then I probably need to save a scene and instantiate that rather than just a random polygon. And then store data on it, and then display this in the menu somehow. Because that's the real question is like, number one, okay, so we can light up the room that we're in, but like we're not going to be able to say like you're exactly here, you know? My tablet. It is not watching me, so I can't tell if there's a problem with the stream. Crew's all here. Oh, bone circuit. We're here, reporting in. We changed the way that we're doing it. We're doing it with polygons. We're not doing it with tile maps. It's easier. And I'm just taking the outline based on a separate tile map that I draw onto the level. Just really simply, it doesn't take long. And it gives me a lot more flexibility. Also, my camera changed. It's much more contrasty. The frame rate's not that good. I don't think I'll keep it. I just wanted to test it out. See if it's better with the light. It should be better with the lighting because it's a phone camera, but like it's not processing as good. I need to probably just make the jump and buy like a decent camera. Okay. Yeah, so let's say that that's the level. Now, how do we display this information? What I think we should do... Going to bed soon. Sadly, I'm insanely tired. Only 9:44. Oh, it's not too bad. Yeah, if you get sleep now, you'll be able to wake up early, you know? Okay. So, yeah, let's think for a moment. How will this be displayed in the world? In the menu, I should say. Could we just draw this in? Could we take this information and create a... There's like, in theory, you should be able to zoom and stuff. Do we create a viewport to display it with a camera? And then zoom with the camera and stuff like that? That might be the way to go, eh? Actually. Like, yeah, I think that's how you do it. You draw it with a viewport and then use the camera to pan around. Early bird addicts over here, over there, huh? Always sleeping right until I have to get up to work. Yeah, it do be like that here. We Brisbane Queenslanders like to wake up early. Although this morning I was struggling, eh? I'm like, oh yeah, okay, tomorrow's not a stream day. I don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. The difference between like waking up at 5 a.m. and having to get up and waking up at 5 a.m. and just getting up is like, it's different. I don't know what it is. It hits different. Is the frame rate really low on this? It feels like I'm bothered by it. I can see it in the corner of my eye. It doesn't look so bad on Twitch, I guess. Hardest task of the day. I really like the quiet of the morning. That's my favorite. There's nothing happening. No one around. So yeah, is a viewport the best way to go about this? Like displaying this in the map? In like the menu? I reckon it is, because then we add a camera to it, and that way we can zoom on the camera rather than like changing the transform of the map, right? The map stays stationary and it's just the camera that changes. How we get information, like how we get input information from that, I don't know. We're doing a mini map. We're doing, I don't know if it's a mini map on a technical level. Like it's going to be, let's run the game if it runs. It's going to be, so if you go to the menu, and there's a map will go here. So I'm gonna put it here. And I want you to be able to like, not with the mouse, because obviously this is not a mouse game, but you know, you will be able to just see the map here and navigate around and see where you are. I just want the room to light up. We don't need to go beyond that right now. We just need to have something. So put a shader on these. get this into the world. I think this should be a node 2D. Or I guess like we could put this in a viewport already. No, it's kind of hard though because it's. Oh, well, let me think. How are we going to go about this? Do we create a separate control node to display all this? We actually, like, this is just the, and then we go map. Where's the map? And it actually just has like a sub viewport on it with sub viewport container that's back to front. This goes above and this goes inside. And then we just set this to stretch, and then you just set this to full, and then same with this, set this to full. And then the sub viewport, this is where we put it, the minimap. So like if we either can save this as a separate scene, we don't need to bring in the tool script, or we bring in the tool script and that's fine, it's not a big deal. Either or, it doesn't really matter. And then we do need some processing on like emitting a signal when we enter a level. So we probably need, you know what's going to be, if we create a node. Okay, so like one of the things that we probably want to do, you know where it's slightly transparent map that's focused on the player and it covers the majority of the screen? Yeah, we could do that too. I'm just going to try to drop it in this map menu, and then there's a bunch of other things that you can do. Like heaps of games have it where you can see it in different ways. Like if you just need to see it quickly, you could maybe create a hotkey where it is displayed that way. So it just shows you like what room you're in. Or you could do like Metroid does it, like there's a little square in the corner that tells you like what room you're in, but it's all squares. This is kind of similar, but like slightly different. That makes sense. I guess we could break the polygons up. Have you seen what PoE does for? Yeah, I do know what you mean. It's like literally an overlay over the current play area where you can see the map. Is it 3D? It's been a while since I've played PoE. I don't mind it. I don't mind the game. It's the never. It's long. It's a lot. You know what I mean? I'm a simple guy. So, yeah, I'm a bit split on how I want to get this information into this control node. Do I add like another node and then save that branch as a scene? I don't take that, and I've got a separate script to figure out where everything is. Or, what I really want is, so I think what I need to do is create a separate object for these polygons. Store on that object the actual level is isometric with a 45-degree angle with some depth. It's pretty cool, yeah. I need to store the polygon with the level, and then probably just the level. Like what else do I need really? And so when I load that level up and you're in that level, we crawl through, like we just get all the levels and we go, well, we can store it in the dictionary really. We get that dictionary and we go, okay, this is the level, this is the polygon that's associated with it. So change its color so you know which one you're in. And then the rest can be, right now they're white, I'll probably change how they look, will be whatever. That I think is pretty straightforward. Like it shouldn't be that hard. So when I create this map and we're crawling through all the different levels, right? We have a dictionary here called levels. Well, if we make this an export variable, it should persist. And we should be able to use that information. And then what we do is we actually create a scene with a polygon and a class on it. So we create a node for polygon 2D, and we'll just call it like a map tile, you know? And then we add a script to it. It inherits polygon 2D. Scripts, tools, minimap creator, map tile open, create, and then save this as well under scenes, tools, minimap creator, save, map tile. And then this will just be class, name, map tile, polygon. Map tile poly, and it's going to have an export variable of level. Level UID, I guess, because that's actually what it'll be. We forgot the var. I always forget the var. And it's a string. Is it a string name, technically? I think. It's not just a string. Like... And right now, do you have an integer ratio to match it up perfectly? No. I'm still working on that. So right now, it's just grabbing the position of the door in the last scene. So I crawl through all the doors, right? And I get the position of the door in the scene, and then I know what level that relates to, and I place that next one at that position. Now, that's not exact, you know? Because like, unless you're making your levels in a particular kind of way, you're not going to actually get an exact matchup. So like, we can either be mindful about how we create the levels, or we can move them manually. Right now, this is why I'm creating individual blocks. Like, you can just move these manually, right? Because I think originally, like if I clear this and recreate it, you can see that this one actually ends up in a pretty good spot, but this one is slightly inwards, right? So you just move that out. And I think technically down, I don't know. Like it's like you would need to create the level in a more like mindful way for it to line up better, because they're not always going to be correct. Meant for translating the player position to the map location. No, oh yeah, we're just going to like highlight the room we're in. We're not going to go into detail about like where you are in the room. Which means it's probably going to be making more sense for me to create smaller rooms than it is to create big rooms like this, because that's going to be kind of annoying. You won't know exactly where you are in this room. So yeah, just things to keep in mind if we're going to do it this way. And then, yeah, like I think down the line, that's worth considering. We can't, like I have the tech, like the same way that I did this, we were able to create little maps with the details and stuff like that. Like we can do it. It's just... the overhead for creating something like that looks good is more work. So I'm just trying to do it in a way that is easier. Pain in the butt, yeah, exactly. Ain't worth it. Ain't worth it for like getting, because like the whole idea is like, okay, I need to get people to play this, but I also need to be in a state where people go like, I don't want people to say to me like when I give this game for people to play, I wish it had a map, because it's like, yeah, the map will come. You know what I mean? It's gonna have a map. Don't worry about it. So if I have a map already, they might be able to tell me, I wish I was able to tell where I am exactly in the room, and I can say, okay, well, that is something people want. Or like if I don't ever get feedback on that, then I don't have to worry about it. Look at all these printouts. We don't need this anymore. Okay, so we were making a map tile. It's just got the level UID. I think that's fine. I don't think there's really anything. We can just add to that later on. Every good dev makes super messy map editor no one can use or understand because the instructions are upstairs. It's a good sign, actually. True. Okay, so we can take that level UID and we can actually create a map of which polygons we create and which ones we don't. So we can take this level, I don't know if I create a new dictionary or with the level UID, we want the polygon, the level UID. That's all we need. So I just created a new one. Probably easier than changing that one. Export var. Level lookup, probably. And it's a dictionary, right? And this one will be of map, tile, poly, and string name. Yeah, I suppose we don't need to create the class if we can just find it here and I make the child. So now I just need to pass in the level UID. You're not going to need it, or something like that. Only code what you need when it's necessary. Yeah, exactly. I think that's the right way to go about it. Like, let's create something that will work for the gameplay purposes, and then just see what people say. And even then, sometimes you can just like, sometimes the customer ain't always right, if that makes sense. But you never know. Sometimes they are. Okay, so I guess it just depends on the noise. I like the way I do it for like the videos that I've made in the past is like if I get enough of the same feedback, then it's like, okay, well, I need to consider that. But if just one person says something to me, I'll just write it off. It's being like, you just don't like that or whatever. Okay, so we got this. Okay, we just need the string name, which comes from this dictionary of levels, which we do have here. For I in string levels, for J in map nodes, we pass in I dot key. It should just be I, right? Whoa, okay. Keyboard going crazy. We've got the node, and then we've got the level ID. And then we pass into this get tile shape, the level name, and then the level ID. And that's a string name. And then here, when we create the child, right, we've got the room node, so then we can say, what did I call it? Level link, level lookup. And then I can go room node. And then I can set it equal to the level ID. Invalid index of node implies a map tile poly. Huh. Done. Okay. And I think that will work. And then that way we'll have like a thing that we can actually reference and get the right polygon. And then I can, I suppose I can also say room node dot level UID is equal to level ID. Why not? It's there, set it. And that function's looking pretty messy. Reload save scene. Delete. I've got a button. Still just press the button. Did it bug out? I think it bugged out. Trying to assign value of minimap GD to a variable of map tile GD. Tile map outline. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. So I skipped a step where I create a polygon 2D, where I should just be creating a map tile poly. New room node, new poly. Room node is, yeah, I went a bit funny. Okay, so I read the wrong thing and created a complete mess. Is new poly here, level ID, and then new poly, new poly. I need to create some splits here. I don't know, the function is pretty messy. I think I want to change the flow of that so it makes a bit more sense. Still bugging? No? Okay, we're good. Yeah, and we've got the scripts on it, so we have the level ID here. And then in the maps, we will have a level lookup with each facility. Entry 01 and the UID associated with it. So then when we enter into a level, we should be able to highlight that and know which one it is. So that's what I plan to use that for. Now, the question still remains, does this get... do we export this as a separate node so that it doesn't have the tool script on it? Or do we not? You know what I mean? Like, do I create a separate node for this and just call it the map? Like it's a node 2D. And call it the map. map. Export map or something. and then have these like show up as a child of this, and then we just save this branch as a scene, probably attach that level lookup to it, and then have that be the thing that we feed to the actual minimap rather than this, the builder. I think that probably makes more sense, you know, so I don't get all this messy stuff with it. Or we could just have this in the control node and like, fuck it, we ball. Because, number one, I've been having troubles getting past this scene route, like get node. And then what? It wants to go to these. It doesn't route game set. These are all like game paths. Get child 1 or 0, I guess. I wonder if that works. See, getting edited scenery was like annoying enough. Like, and then this clear button. I don't know. I don't know, man. Scene. Reload save scene. Save. I'm really paranoid. Clear polygon. Oh, it worked. Get mouse. Yeah, okay. It's really slow now. And, ooh. The owner didn't work then. This is probably going to crash. Oh, I'm really bright, eh? I've got the opposite problem now. I used to get like progressively yellow, and now I get progressively bright. I broke it. This is going to crash the engine, I think, eventually. So this is to do with the owner. So when you set the owner, it needs to be the same. So we just said room node. The owner is the room node, but it's like not working. You know what I mean? Add child, room node, add child, new poly. Owner, room node. What was the output saying? Invalid operator used. Attempted to use 0 previously freed object instance into a type dictionary key. What the heck? Oh. I have to clear that dictionary. Otherwise it's gonna bug out. Okay, if I recreate this, we have to clear that dictionary. Understood. When we press the clear button, the level lookup needs to be emptied out. Reload save scene. That there will disappear. Clear polygons. Common parent is null. I don't know about this. It's taken a while, and it's not. They're not adding to the scene, which means I'm still having. I've got issues. We don't have errors, which is good, I guess. But this is the problem that you have when you get node should work. It might not be seeing what part of the map, so it's not auto completing. Okay, yeah, let's try get node instead of get child because that's clearly not working. Reload save scene. This clear polygons. Okay. And it should just be, it's literally just the name, right? Like, because it is a child, like it's just gonna be that as text. I guess it'll tell me. Way to go. Export map. Moment of truth, let's see. Scene, reload, save scene. I like making tools. It's kind of fun. Get maps. Yeah, it's still not working. I mean, yeah. I wonder if clear polygons works too. Print room node. Export map. Yeah, okay, so it is the right one. So why doesn't the owner work? Why doesn't setting the owner work? New poly.owner equals room node. What does this say about it? The owner of this node. The owner must be an ancestor of this node. When packing the owner node in a pack scene, all the nodes it owns are saved with a unique name in owner. In the editor, nodes not owned are usually not displayed, which is the problem we're having, and will not be saved. To prevent this, remember to set the owner after calling add child. The owner needs to be the current scene root. Okay, so that's just like how it needs to be, the current scene root. Oh, the owner needs to be the current scene root. So maybe this just needs to be set to this. Clear polygons, get map. Yes, that's it. Okay, cool. Okay, well, let's get rid of these printouts. And so now I can put a script on this to store this level lookup so we can separate the two. Like, I think that's just better rather than... oh, dude, it's hella bright. Look at my camera. Dude, that's so funny. Close that as the sun comes up. That looks normal now, though. Must be having some awesome ideas, yeah. Dude, it's just like, it's dark when I start streaming, and then by the time that it's like, I mean, an hour later, the sun's up. It'd just be like that. Okay, so we got the print room node. We don't need that no more. So getChart also worked. It was really just this. So I reckon getChart 0 was fine as well. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so level lookup. I think that was from the music that I'm listening to. Level ID, owner, name, position, offset. That's super dodgy. We should get that. We actually have the tile map, so we can say tile map. I was just being lazy. Tile map dot tile set dot tile size dot x. Just one of them, it doesn't matter. Position, yeah. Position equals offset divided by, oh, you can divide it by like it's a vector 2 divided by a vector 2, so that's fine, right? Nope. Vector 2i, invalid operands. God damn it. I guess it can be divided by a float, so let's just do that. Alex Eats Cesium, welcome. Tile sizes can't be different anyway, can they? Oh, they probably can, but... Lazy or just trying to get work? Get it to work. Yeah, exactly. I knew the number, so I put that in rather than coding the exact place that I need to get that information from. Okay, so let's go. And okay, so we need to create a script for this export. What is this? We're gonna have to open it up back up again, but we can say we can create a script here for the export map. In fact, like I could even create a button to create like a pack scene and just save it as an over the old one if I wanted to. That might, I mean, we'll look at that later, but you know, minimap maker, yeah, that's fine. Export map. Actually, does that get exported to menus and submenus, or what have I got here? I've got in-game shop. I'm not. Oh, I'm looking at a script. I need to go to the script folder. Yeah, do I save this in the menus, or is it? Actually, you know what? No, I won't. Map creator, export map. King Julian, why am I
King Julian, why am I tied to stick?
I don't understand the reference. Welcome to the chat, Goosefat. Class name. What is this? What is this one called? This one's just called a map tool. A couple of warnings there. I think I would just call Madagascar. This one can just be called the map. Map display. Map view? Map view. That's fine. Okay, so we grab the export variable here, and we call it level lookup. Same as what it was before. It's a dictionary. And then we will type it because we typed it before. So it is, what was it, a string name? No, it was a map tile poly and a string name. So that's just a reference to its own children, really. And then what we can do here is, as we create them, we've got the room node, and here at the end of, do we create this at a higher level and pass it in so that when we create the minimap, right? Call this map node. Export map node. That's fine. Map view. And then pass this into the function. So that we can... Function's getting fat. Node 2D. Well, actually, it's actually a map view. Technically. And then we add, when we add child, we add it to the map view, not to the export map. And that's fine. Now, with that information, we actually have this level lookup new poly. Why don't we have this return the information to the dictionary? Do you have a nap view for the parameter? No. We could just save it as a parameter. Actually, I don't know how that would work. It's fine here in this function. Let's delete some of these prints. I'm actually really happy with this is going, so I'm happy to remove that function call for the old bay with the tile maps. Which means I can remove this get tile shape or set map and get level bounds. We don't need those anymore, which is good. I'll leave them there for now. Maybe I'll just comment them out so that they're not there. Get position offset is also no longer required. Sorry, I meant argument. Do I have a map view for the argument? I do now. And it has its own dictionary, so we can actually say we don't have to pass it back. I mean, we could pass it. I think it's more sensible. Level lookup, and then at the end of this loop, we can just pass the level lookup onto the map view. That's actually what I was wanting to do. So at the very last thing on this, you can say map view, which is a node, but it's actually a map view. And then we can say map view dot level lookup equals level lookup, and then that way it's going to be present on that as well. And just mimic it over. Stream just plays tricks on me though. I thought you typed nap view. Maybe I did. Somewhere. I make spelling mistakes all the time, so it might be somewhere at some point that I did type that, you know. Okay, so then we can clear this and then get map. Function is getting really slow. But now here we have the level lookup with the dictionary and the different nodes. And then we also have these with their level UIDs. So I should be able to like change their color when they're selected, which we can do on this script here rather than on the map view script, which I think makes just more sense. And so we can save this as a separate scene and then have it show up in this actual map menu. And this is going to be in the menus and be in game as a map menu. That is the plan. And then we should be able to like zoom and stuff. That's the theory. Okay, so now that we have that, what's next? I believe we need to... we save this as a scene. And then we need to, we need to set up the logic for like select and deselect, but right, so then we can say function set current room. And it takes a UID, and this is a string name. And then we should be able to just use signals in the game for this. Returns void. And then we go if UID dot is no, so we go level lookup if level lookup dot has UID, then we can do whatever the heck. We can get the room, so the node get via map room, I guess that's fine. It's a map tile poly. And we can even put a function on the map tile poly to like light up equals level lookup, and then you go UID. And then for now we can just say map room dot color is going to be, what color do we make it? Blue. Color dot color equals color dot blue. Can we make it like not a gross blue? I guess sky blue is fine. And then why is it invalid string name or base type string name? What? Oh, we're looking at the, yeah, okay. Oh, should it be the other way around then? If we're gonna get the string name and then we, yeah, okay. So maybe this needs to be reversed. It's not map poly. It's string name map poly. Yeah, that probably makes more sense. If that's how you're going to look it up. Okay. We just have to reverse that in the other script and then pass it back in. When we actually get that information. Just breaking everything, you know. Level ID equals new poly. There we go. Then we clear, and then we get. Yeah, I'm actually concerned about how slow this is. Oh, okay, the polys are broken now. Invalid assignment of property or key UID with a value of type polygon 2. I forgot to save. Okay. Save. Reload save scene. Let's just reopen the script just to make sure. That was the only place that I set it, right? Level ID equals new poly, and then here. It's still, oh no, it's working. Okay, I was like, it's still broken. I wonder if I could define like a, I don't know why this one is positioned perfectly. This one's not. It like sits inside it. Kind of annoying. I'll put a shader on these so I can see like the outline at some point. But yeah, we'll just color it blue. So there's that function, set current room. And yeah, I guess you have to also crawl through the rest of them. So like, you also need to set the rest of the rooms as, yeah, right. Actually, for the set current room, you need to loop through all the nodes and then find the one that actually is yours and set it to blue. The rest will be. So you can just say like for I in level lookup, and then you can say if, and this is a string name, if I is equal to UID, then I level lookup bracket I dot, what's the function called? What's the, it's color, right? Dot color equals color dot sky blue, else, and then the same thing but like white or whatever the frick. Can we make it like something not gray? Gainsborough, like not white so we don't blind ourselves. Anyway, so there we can do that, and then we can set the current room once the room is loaded. So we can put that in the actual level script, and once the level is like on ready, we just emit a signal. Sounds like a play. Okay. All right, what's the time? 7:30. Oh, we got time. Let's see if we can get this going then. So we basically want to save branches scene. Although I think it probably makes more sense rather than doing that manually, create like a button to do that so that we don't have to like, but that's hard, man. It's actually going to be kind of annoying. For now, let's just save it as branches scene. We'll worry about creating a button later. Actually, yeah, keep it in the tools. Map app exports. Export map. Save, and then go to the map menu, and in the sub viewport, map exports. Export map. You draw that in. Why does it look like that? Is this like just a positioning thing? Very good dev makes a super messy map. Wait, no, I thought I saw a chat come through. Oh, I guess I must have been saying things. Level lookup. Okay, so that's all there. I guess the position. Huh. We want to make it center to the center, right? Assuming you start at the center, you might not start at the center. But like it can't be, but should there not be like a button to offset that? There normally is, right? Position relation screw. It shows up there. I guess I'll just change its position. Okay. Let's just move it. 200. It's so small. I guess let's just put it in the center actually. 1920 divided by 2, 1080 divided by 2. And then here's the kicker, right? Like this is just the very small map at the moment. We're gonna add a camera, 2D, and then we'll be able to actually like put the limits. No, camera 2D zoom. Whoa. Okay, that looks weird. I need to create a scene right here of node 2D, and then both of these need to be in it. I think. What the heck? Behaving strangely. Excuse me. I don't know what's going on. Is this just sub-viewport shenanigans? Or am I crazy? What's going on? Why doesn't the camera... Some weird shit going on here. I can't see the camera bounds. Camera 2D looks weird. And then it's not... So if I change the zoom on this to be like 3, the sub viewport doesn't change. The preview here, and I feel like it should, like in a regular level. Something is off. There's no camera in this level. Oh, there is, actually. Take that back. Why can't I see this? You know? Like, I should be able to see this control nodes and stuff like that. Very, very strange. Anchor mode, drag center, fix top left. And then, or even like, it should be the current. Process callback, drag, editor, draw screen, draw limits. Dude, what the hell? I'm so confused. Am I crazy? What happens if I run this scene? Do I just see nothing? I don't even know if it'll work. There's dependencies. It doesn't see anything. Why not? Why not? Map sub viewport container, sub viewport, node 2D with a camera. Audio listener canvas items, variable rate reshading, scaling 3D, rendering. What's going on? Like, why can't it see? Dude, so confused. This is all just because it's like in a sub viewport. Can I get this out of the sub viewport? A second. The fixed top left is what I want, right? So I want this camera to like zoom. I probably want the zoom to zoom on center. So actually, we do want it to. What if I go fixed top left? Is there like a way to have the zoom camera enabled disabled? Obviously, if I run it now, I'd be able to see that. Yeah, I can see it. But then the position of this can go back to this. And then if I run it now, it should be in the center, right? Yeah. Honestly, I'm a bit confused about like why this is being such a pain in the ass. And if I put this in a sub viewport, it doesn't it doesn't draw the camera. What the hell? Variable rate shading. I thought I had a good handle on sub viewports. I guess I was wrong. Ugh. Is it because of stretch? Oh. But that doesn't make any sense because I have sub viewports in this and it's fine. Like I have a camera and it follows the camera. Like the camera follows perfectly for this sub viewport. So why wouldn't it be the same for the other one? I don't get it. Is it because the parent is like not a node 2D? Like, is that what the problem is here? Like, what's going on? Like, change branch type to node 2D. I don't see how this would possibly change the way that this is displayed. Is it because it's not in a canvas layer? Why would that make a difference?
I'm going to have fun when this Wi-Fi dongle comes. I'll be able to play VR Minecraft at school.
VR Minecraft. Yeah, that's something I have not heard before. I mean, I guess it makes sense that you could play that. Like, that exists. I don't know what I'm missing here. Put it as a child of the camera. Make the camera node up here. Doesn't change anything. It doesn't draw the camera, it just draws the scene. Ah, dude.
Did you know fires put out water?
No. It's the opposite. Like I have to move it still. Sense. It doesn't make any sense. Interesting. So maybe it's just a visual thing. Okay, maybe it is just visual. I put it on a canvas layer, it still shows up. Okay. Oh, you guys can't see when I play around with this. What am I gonna do? Embed on next play. So now if I go to this and I change the zoom, yes, that's what I wanted. Thank God. Jeez, I don't know why it's... Learner's first try. I feel like that's... Maybe it's me, but when I was a young whippersnapper, that was like, if you didn't get it first try, you were kind of a loser. You know what I mean? So if you got it first try, that's great. You know what I mean? You stand among the Chads. Because like we would make fun of people who couldn't get their learners. We would just make fun of people that couldn't get their license. Full stop. You know? And this was like, you know, 2007, so there's no woke. Or like woke didn't hit yet. People were vicious. I mean, people probably still are. They just do it differently. They would call you things. Do people still do that? I'm assuming like a lot of that stuff is just internet. Like imagine kids still say like the most heinous shit. Okay, so this works. We put it in a sub viewport container and a canvas layer, but we don't need any of that stuff, so let's just change this back to a node. So if it's a map node, it just doesn't work. Okay, noted. Oh no, it does. It just doesn't show up in the editor. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. Okay. Well then. That was a lot of fluffing around for something that's totally fine. We've got the map menu with the map and a script. I guess it's fine. So if we go back to the in-game menu. What's it called? In-game menu and overlays. No. In-game menu. Map menu. We've actually got one here. I'm only getting it so I can get to work, so I can get work experience and back to school, but my friend only failed because apparently you give way to cyclists and not the ambulance. Well, yeah, you definitely give way to cyclists. I thought you would. I mean, if the ambulance has its sirens on, you give way to that. But if it's just regular, if it's just driving, it's just another car on the road, it can get fucked. I guess we got sub menus, map menu, and then we also have this new map menu that I made, so I guess I can just delete that. And then go get my map menu. Which I don't know what I called anymore. Oh, I have two, great. Sub menus, in-game map menu. And that's this one here, delete this.
Why am I not imagining an ambulance going through a drive-through?
I imagine sometimes they do. Occasionally, you know. Secret menu, engine acquired. Wait, no, this is not player user interface. Secret menu, engine in-game. I guess. Wait, what the heck? Secret menu, map menu, in-game menus and overlays.
That would be quite funny.
Oh shit. That's that one. Don't delete that. Delete the map menu from this. And put the new map menu in here. That'd be quite funny. I mean, I imagine the only limit would be the height. You know what I mean? The The limit will be how tall the ambulance is compared to other things. I think I broke stuff by deleting that scene on the game. Well, the map shows up. I guess I need a background, don't I? And we've completed our quest. Upgrades and power-ups. Okay. In-game menu map. So all we need now is to actually call this function, I think. And to be honest, let's put a color behind this because it's kind of just ugly. Let's just make it black for now. I think it goes up. And we say... full rect. Okay. We want a transparent background. There we go. Done. Yeah. Easy, okay. Okay, so how do we actually call this function set current room? We can connect a signal on the ready. We can go to our signal manager. So let's just do that. And then we can just emit it from the level once it loads. It's not super stressful because like you don't have to do this exactly as the level loads up because you're never going to see this, I don't think. Unless we do like a mini map, small mini map, which you can do, but like, yeah, let's go to the signal manager. We need to break some of this stuff. It's kind of gigantic. I want menu signals. I'm gonna create one called menu signals and put some of the stuff in there.
Beans.
Beans. On level. Oh, wait, is there already a signal that I can tap into? Camera feedback, player hit on camera anchor, on set position, on player max energy, player state changed. Really not, eh? Credits picked up. Soft reset requested. No, because when you load a level, it gets loaded by the game state, and the game state doesn't necessarily inform anybody else. Level name. Although, what do I do with the load? It's called a room. What happens in the room? Like when you hit a door, go through door, game state, load next scene, next index, next index, player data. Okay, so realistically here we can just admit that we're going to the next scene. I mean, the other option is really in the player, in the game state, once we set the new scene to be the scene, we can just say what the scene is, right? The scene is a string name, so you could also like emit the signal here. There's no error checking at the moment, so like, and we're literally just doing a 0.05 second, just awaiting a timeout for the black screen. Like there's just an inbuilt one because otherwise things are kind of weird. I probably need to solve that at some point, but set current scene level to load. And that is a function. But here we could say signal manager dot on level changed dot emit, and we emit the scene, right? And then that way we know that it's the current scene. And then on the door, patting the unimpressed face, the on the what is it called? Like map view? On the map view? Map tile? Export map. Okay, well that's a name for it. Probably need to change the name of that function on the ready function here. We will signal manager dot connect on level changed or something like that, right? Dot on level changed dot
You need to drink moist water.
moist water as opposed to just regular water. How's that? Set current room. Okay. And we're going to change the current room to like a... Okay, well, moment of truth. Let's see if the room currently changes to the correct color. Let's run the game. Well, it didn't on startup, probably because I'm doing it only when the map changes. So we can go back to the game state, go to the scripts. We need to emit that in multiple locations, don't we? Because it's not just when we load the next scene, but it's also when we load a fresh scene. So what happens when we load the game? Obviously we're not calling that function, or we are, and it's just like loading game menu. Load in-game menu, load game from menu. Fresh load level. What did I call? Fresh load level, load in-game. Oh, last scene, load from menu. We don't call, where did I put that? Signal manager, level change, load next scene is just called when you load a scene, but when you load a game from menu, we need to get save path, last scene path. Load game from menu, load last scene path. Fresh load level. I guess that's it, but like, I don't really understand how this works. Ingest load data and then last scene path. Is it just a variable that gets set when you ingest the load data? How does this last scene path get set? It's a string name. Game over, last scene path, save state, last scene path. Data scene, update player data, last scene path, data scene. So this is like when you're in game. So I suppose we could also like emit it there. We update the player data. The player knows what scene it's on. So when you ingest the load data, you set that variable because we are updating the player data, I'm guessing. Player... I still don't really fully understand how that's getting set. Dude. How do I know what the last scene is when I load a game from a menu? So when we ingest the load data, so we play loading start, we start playing music, we await for the finishing of the animation for the load, and then we ingest the load data, which is just like getting that information, get save profile, right? And then we set the data for data, and then we play a data. Ingest load data? Doesn't return anything. Dude, I'm so confused. Data dictionary save data data. How does this work? There must be something happening in the save profile that like somehow makes this work okay. I understand. We're setting I, and the I is the player data. So the player data gets set, which somehow last scene path is like set in all of this. I'm really confused because I wrote this like 2 months ago. So last scene path, and we set that in the update player function. Okay, that's fine. Because the whole idea of the last scene path variable is that like if you die, you know what scene you're in. And so when we reload the game, we go to that scene, right? And load it up. Data to save. Last, oh, it's saved.
Meow, 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 meow,
So when
meow, meow,
okay.
meow.
Meow, meow, meow. Yes. Oh, that's a hedgehog. You want me to click this link? That's a lot of hedgehogs, dude. I understand now. So we save this data, and when we load it up, when we ingest the load data, that's actually a part of this set thing here, ingest load data. I'm lost. Load game from menu. This function, when it's setting the data, is one of these variables in this I here. So that's how come this exists. So when we load a game from a menu, we need to emit the last scene path. Did you think I was trying to do what the other person did? I would never. No, I just didn't notice it because I was trying to figure out what the heck is going on in my game. Okay, so when we load from menu, we need to set it. When we load when we go to a next room, and also when we start a new game, we do need to set that. So where is new game from menu? There's a function specifically for that because it just is different. Next scene. Signal manager. Next scene. Okay, I think I've covered the 3 places where you load in a level. And I still think this is we're gonna have troubles with this because the reason is the menu is not loaded. I'm just realizing it's like, no, the menu doesn't even exist when I'm setting those details. So does the map actually just need to reach out rather than
The first time the bed was made, it looked like a big piece of cake.
made it look like, okay. See how this load in-game menu, I've put this in the wrong order. So we load up the menu after the fact. So wherever we're doing that. Now we don't do that when we change scenes, but we do load when we load a new game. And then also when we are loading a game from menu, we are loading in-game menu here. So here, right below, we emit that signal. Although I'm still skeptical it won't work because there's like timing issues here. Microsoft. More like Microslop. Yeah, 100% actually. That is an accurate description of Microsoft these days. So I actually don't think this is only going to work when you change scenes. It's not actually going to work on like when you load into a menu. So invalid assignment. Okay, well at least we're getting to it. We actually are getting the signal code. So like maybe that's okay. Okay, so invalid assignment of key color on value type color on base object of null instance. Okay, well that's a good start, isn't it? Null, null, null. Interesting. Okay, so I actually think this might be an issue with how I'm saving the scene. Rather than, yeah. Oh, yeah, I don't know about that. But hey, we're getting there. And also I should be equal to something and scenes is not. So like we're never going to have it yes, because look at this. It's not giving the UID, it's giving the actual scene path. So I need to probably get the UID from that scene path as well. So something else to consider. But we're making progress though. So if we go
King
back...
Julian, why am I tied to a stick?
Why am I tied to a stick? I don't know. I haven't seen that movie in a cajillion years. Okay, so if we go to the map menu here, I suspect the problems that we're going to be having is that these are completely dropped. You know what I mean? So that's W. That's this one here. Uh, 515U. That's that one there. W. I think I got them mixed up. Ah. And then this is P1. They're in a different order. Oh. 515U is 2. And then, wait, what? W is 1. And 515U is 2. And 8P1 is 3. Okay, so these don't get set properly when I export this. Probably because I'm just saving the... I'm setting it as the node, but like, yeah, there's something there that's wrong, but we'll fix that up later in the export. Because right now it's just, obviously, we want to make sure that we get the entire flow right. And okay, so now we've set those. We also need to come back to this script because this is where we need to do it. This, I'm assuming, is the reference.
Julian, why am I tied to a stick?
To trigger any explosives Carl might have set for me.
Oh yay! I'm a sacrifice!
Sacrifice. Hey, random person on this earth. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? You made it, and there's 1 minute before I have to go and start work. Okay. So, we're almost there. We're almost there, though. I want to get this working, though. Just woke up. Nice. Set current room. We get the string name, but it's not correct. So we need to go and get, like, the actual UID.
Is streaming tomorrow?
I don't think so. Maybe Friday. I don't know. I only need to do 3 days a week. I mean, I don't need to do anything. I can do whatever I want, but like, it does get a bit much. So the actual UID. So we get the UID, and then we can, if this is a scene, or maybe if I go back to the, you know what, like, pause on this, go back to the game state. We actually have the save path. Last scene. Why isn't this being saved as a UID? That is the question. Is it being saved as a UID and it's just coming through in the code as not a UID? Project open user folder. Because I would say, like, change that. Look at all this data. Look at all this data. Where's the level? Scene path. Yeah, it's being saved as that. Okay, so when I save, I can actually probably just save that as a UID. Just for consistencies. I'm
just imagining the camera freezing while you're trying to eat the mic or food for some reason.
Sounds weird, bro. Okay, yeah, the game state. We need to go to game state. Where's the script? Okay, set current scene. Where we save data.scene path. So we get the data, we update the player, which comes from a couple of different locations. Which is a problem. Get scene file path. I wonder if there's a get scene UID or something like that. The original scene file, if the node has been instantiated from pack scene, only scene root node contains this. Oh my god. Okay, that's annoying. What did I do? Okay, so maybe this is going to be another problem to solve later on. Well, not later on. I need to do this, like, for us to get to the next step, but everything needs to be stored as a UID, and I don't know how do I do that. UID. Get resource ID. String path. Set UID. Has UID.
Well, I went to disappear into the void of no return.
How'd it go? Path to UID. A singleton that manages all the paths. Resource it allows the engine to keep, create, add, get ID path. ID has ID to text, path to UID. Converts the given UID in a string value. Would that be the same? Converts the provided resource path to a UID, returns the unchanged path if it has no associated UID. Path to UID. I reckon that's what we do. So I think it's resource. What was the path to UID? Resource UID, which is a singleton that I can call on. Path to UID brackets owner get path. There we go. So when we update the player location, we save it as a UID rather than a scene file path. That should make things a lot better. And then where else are we updating this player data? So we in the save, do we do it in the doors? What are we doing in the doors? When we pass through a door, we're not doing anything here. We're not saving the data or anything like that. We don't need to. It's not a big deal. Where do we update the player data? That's like basically every time we call that function, go back, game state, player unit, player data, save state player data. Update player. Basically, I want to find all the times that we call this function update player. Find in files, update player, leading bracket, find. So we call it in the game state, obviously, and then in the game state, in the world, game start here as well. What is this? If game dot is game state. Okay, so this is just me getting around this. Okay, but still same. Resource UID dot get ID path. All path. Should be an int. Well, I must be using the wrong one. Get UID. UID to path. Path to UID. B. Path to UID. Okay, there we go. Okay. And then, yeah, I guess what I'll do is I will go to the project user data folder and delete the saves that I have, just the one. And then rerun, make sure everything's working, and then yeah, we'll see. Level lookup. Null instance still. Okay, got stuff to work on, but I gotta get out of here. I got a job to do. But it's been fun hanging out. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Oh. Now to go look at some spreadsheets and stuff. Hey, Kara. Thank you, I will. Alright, guys. Bye.